that's the way that was the tone of the article.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I heard David Stern use and quote those things and quote Stephen A. Smith as a reason why to impose the age limit. I heard that.
And that's a good thing. I'm glad you said that on record. Thank you.
Yeah, I heard that.
But the crazy thing is, my transcript is public records. So if anybody want to know how slow Kwame Brown is, you can actually go and look it up. I went to Glenn Academy High School in Brunswick, Georgia.
Right.
So I was signed, sealed, and delivered to the University of Florida. I didn't get that. I had the NCAA sitting behind me when I took the SAT and the ACT.
Right.
So there was no cheating on this one. They were watching everything I did. They was following everything about me. And so I always had the feeling that another reason why I kept quiet is just always had a feeling like they didn't want me to make it. Somebody didn't want me to make it.
Yeah.
Because every time I would come up with business ideals and I got all the money to go do what I want to do, and somebody would try to talk me out of it. Don't do that. Don't do that. I go home and I got a bunch of guys from the neighborhood. We got paintbrushes. We about to redo the park. We was about to go to jail. So I'm just like, dang, you gave me the key to the city and I can't redo the park. Wow. So we had to run in and do all these red tapes. So it was like anything off the court, anything on the court, it just seemed like they made it a brighter spotlight for me. I get arrested for driving too fast. It was the biggest thing in the world. It was every newspaper. Another person do it is, the car was fast, and it's okay.
Well, there's a reason though. There's a reason. There was you were the poster child for that, and that was, and I believe 100% that there's a reason why Stephen A. Smith went at Kwame Brown in particular the way that he did all the time. Now, Stephen A. Smith is Stephen A. Smith. You know, he's all extra and does all the extra stuff, and he's like an actor and does the theatrics, and that's what he does. But with you, it was different. You know, even the people that he criticizes and says some things about, he says something about them, then he moves on. You know what I mean? He doesn't. But with you, he kept going nonstop. The footage that you referred to earlier, I put like a link in this article about it, where he's going to not only colleges but high schools. You got to go. It's all the way towards the end. It's a whole compilation of Stephen A. Smith talking about Kwame Brown, and I just put it all in there. And he's talking to young high school. They look like they could be middle school. You know what I mean?
About me?
About Kwame Brown. That's
not personal.
And it's amazing. I was like, what relevance does this have to any type of motivational talk that you're giving to middle school and high school players? But it's not players, classrooms. Not like he was just talking to athletes. He was talking to classrooms.
So he couldn't tell them about me being in the homeless shelter and that side of things. He tell them about a game. Listen, and I'm not even getting minutes.
Listen, the whole thing was they could have told a completely different narrative. So the narrative could have been, right, that Kwame Brown at 17, 18 years old was able to persevere through an impossible situation where the top player ever, Michael Jordan, is on his back nonstop, and they want to blame him for everything that goes wrong because they want Michael Jordan to look good and to go out with a bang, which is what happened. And they was in this push for the playoffs, and all the pressure was on him, and he still persevered. That could have been the story. That could have been the narrative that they repeated. If Stephen A. Smith would have repeated that narrative, and it would have showed how you was able to persevere, how strong you were, how, you know, even at 17 and 18 years old, you was able, but that went against the age limit. That went against the whole overall thing, because that would have shown a positive side of you. They wanted to show a negative side of you. Mm-hmm. And I believe it was all connected. Now, I don't know. I don't know if Stephen A. Smith and David Stern were connected, right? But I can connect the dots. I heard David Stern say that out of his mouth. Mm-hmm. So I know that was what his focus was. And we all saw there's public record when Stephen A. Smith said, I saw when he had his response, and he was like, you know, I'm not saying anything about the man Kwame Brown or just his game and not the man. I was like, no, you made it personal. And that's all he had to 20 years later, okay? All Stephen A. Smith had to do was be a man, admit it, say, I apologize, okay? And leave it at that. That's all. That's all.
They can't seem to do that. Everybody I seem to talk to, I guess because I'm an old busted bus, they don't think they have to apologize to me until I make them. But I think I'm gonna have a conversation with Stephen A. Smith at some point, and I might have to add David Stern because
David Stern passed away.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
David Stern passed away.
I didn't know that, but he represented the NBA. So I just always felt like what you said, and I've been looking up video after. I've been trying to look up video. I typed in Darko Milicic. I typed in all the top draft picks, and I don't see him going. Now I didn't know about high schools, but I can't find one video of Stephen A. talking about any other player at a college other than myself.
And the thing is, Darko was supposed to be the second coming from Europe. Like, they took him over Melo. Like, he was supposed to be the man. So for that level of expectation to be built up around Darko, you would have thought that they would have criticized him. They didn't say anything about Darko. Why? Why though? You got to point it out, and then you got to ask why. Well, I'll tell you why. Because at the very same time, David Stern was trying to push for like the European invasion. They wanted to take the NBA international, and he did. I mean, as far as marketing the NBA and taking it to a whole different, I mean, he was a great marketer.
They have to stand on my shoulders to do that.
But that's what they did because, and that's the reason why they didn't say anything about Darko, because they want to have all the European players come in. When you have a European player, the whole country is behind him. The whole country supports him. So then
I told people it's about money.
Oh, it's always about money. Then you go into that market. Then you're setting up shop different places. You're getting the viewership. Revenues are going up. BRI, which is basketball-related income, and everything gets higher. You do that in each place. All they need is a superstar in a country.
All right, guys. Good morning. So, yeah, as you can see, man, you had Kwame Brown, Ethan Thomas. He live streamed that like a couple days ago. I really love that our brother, that content. So they were basketball players. Of course, they used to play for Washington. They were teammates, and they played with MJ and everything. And then throughout the whole video, he talked about a variety of things. So Kwame Brown and how why he was silent for 20 years and what was going on. Like when he was a teenager, he used to play and everything. He was signed a contract and he's trying to get his career started. So I mean, there's the reason why he didn't really speak up and really talk about a lot of things about a lot of players that people admire is that, okay, well, this is my career. It's something I worked hard for. I mean, if I say something or speak up on anything, I mean, who am I? Nobody's really gonna take my word for it, and I'll be over the radar, and my career is going to be gone. And they really, how was really stuck out to me when they was talking about when Stephen A. Smith, man, he was saying like it's just negative things about him, of his career. And I'm looking like, the whole purpose of you going to the schools and going to HBCUs or, high schools is just to bring out, good information to inspire not only athletes, young athletes, but these young generation. And this is a black man, too, that actually made it to the NBA. Yeah, if he didn't help to, I guess, the quote-unquote society standards as far as, like, being the best NBA player he could be in 2001. Draft pick the first round, but at the same time, you could have played the narrative that Ethan Thomas said, like, okay, well, he persevered, he came out of nothing. He actually made sure that his family was safe, he was good, and he kept his head on his shoulders. And there's a lot of kids out there that got lost in the sauce that was very talented. They didn't even have an opportunity to play national basketball, or professional football, or become a lawyer or anything, something of nature, and he made something out of himself. Even though, a lot of things were against him. But he still made something. He had a farm. I mean, he's raising his children. I mean, you could have said something very positive, and to the point that the media is so powerful, even though Malcolm X says the most powerful entity in the world. It can make the innocent seem guilty and the guilty seem innocent. It's just about if you continuously putting out negativity every single day, people are going to start believing it, and they're not going to really think for themselves. And so I had to say, with Kwame Brown, I commend him to continuously to speak up for himself and for him being signed for 20 years and speaking up on a lot of things, man, it's very something, man. And I actually like how he's going on podcasts and he talked about like why is the point that a lot of basketball players or even athletes in general are having a confidence now and audacity to speak negative about professional athletes and their former teammates. Like why are they doing it instead of building? and everything. I thought it was about building and not tearing down. So I mean, this was a very powerful live stream. I think Kwame Brown responded to me in the comment section too about cryptocurrency and stuff. So I really appreciate him and his team, man. Continue to do what you do. I'm gonna continue to put some live stream up, a little bit of it. I just want people to encourage to go in here and support this brother's channel, and also to support my channel as well. You know, like, comment, subscribe. But this is some good content here that we need to see. So I appreciate you guys, man. It's your boy Young Lee Jr. I'm out. Deuces.